This is episode number 115 of the Helping of Happiness podcast. Today we are talking to Jennifer Maynor from A Little Family Fun, all about how to do super fun things this summer and make your 4th of July special even if your plans have been canceled from COVID. Hi, you're listening to Helping of Happiness. I'm your host, Hillary Hess, a crazy mom of 7 kids who loves to eat and loves to travel. Mom life can be exhausting, hectic, and scary at times, so let's take this journey together. We can love, we can learn, we can laugh, we can cry, and we can become better friends while we're at it. Jennifer, how are you?
I am great. Thank you.
It is such a pleasure for me to have you on here, taking up so much of your time that is precious when you have all these wonderful things going on with you and your family. Will you tell us a little bit about your family? And then I would love to go into all the cool things that you and your family are doing right now.
Okay. Yes. So I'm Jennifer, and I am married to Justin, and we are originally from Arizona. So we are desert people, but we've ended up here in Western Washington, and we've been here for coming up on 11 years. So we've definitely put roots down here, and we love it. We have 6 wonderful kids, and we kind of go the whole gamut of ages. We've got a 17-and-a-half-year-old all the way down to 2. So we've just got lots of busyness with all the activities that go from old to young and everything in between. And I know you know all about that.
Yes, I know. I wish we lived nearby so we could just get in on all of this. Since we have 3 to 18, it would be perfect.
So yeah, that's us in a nutshell. We're a really busy family, but yeah, it's the best. We love it.
So, and I want you to tell us all about your business because you do so many really fun things as a family. So give us the lowdown about what it is you do, how it got started, and kind of where you're at with that now.
Yes. So we have this business called A Little Family Fun, and it's kind of funny, this story about how it all started. It was about a year and a half ago, actually. I was put in charge of this big Christmas party at my church, and I wanted to make it kind of different and special than what we had typically done in the past. And so I decided I really wanted to be able to go in and interview the little kids and ask them questions about the Christmas story and have them kind of help me tell the Christmas story. And of course, their responses are so cute, especially the little ones. You know, what kind of animals were were there by baby Jesus? And there were camels and alligators. You know, and they were just. It was so cute. So I really wanted to do this big project, but I had no idea how to edit videos or do any of that stuff. It's completely new to all of it, but something I really wanted to learn how to do. And so this project kind of gave me the push to finally figure it out and start teaching myself how to do this. And so Justin and I did some research about the software programs that are available out there for video editing, and we decided, if we're going to put the time and effort into learning how to do this, let's do it right. So we got Adobe Premiere, which is, expensive. It's very complicated, but it can do everything. It's a really awesome program. And so we decided to put the time and effort into learning how to edit these little kid videos for my Christmas program. And I remember it was Thanksgiving weekend, and we had our Thanksgiving dinner, and you have your Friday and your Saturday, and usually filled with either shopping or football or fun activities. But that year we just kept putting movies on for the kids because we were sequestered away in the office. We had to figure out how to work this program that's just, there's such a steep learning curve, when it comes to video editing. And
I'm just glad I'm not the only one that just puts movies on for kids when I'm in a desperate situation like that.
Oh, it doesn't happen often, but it definitely has happened. And anyway, it was good though, because we had that deadline, and so we just had to dig in our heels and figure it out. And it was nice because it was Thanksgiving. So Justin had some time off of work that weekend, and so he could help me
Which
figure it
is
out.
why you had to get it in, right? It's
Yes,
just like Monday morning, you're back at it, and I can't do
I
this by myself.
know. Like, who's got time for that? So yeah, we finished the video, and it was so fun to be able to share that kind of a thing with our church family. They enjoyed it so much. They loved being able to see the kids spotlighted in that way, you know. And I just thought, this is awesome. And now that we have kind of gone through the painful process of learning how to use this program, we got to do something with it. And so we were brainstorming, and Justin said, well, why don't we start a YouTube channel? And I thought, what? A YouTube channel? We're not that interesting. What would we make a channel about, Because you see these families that are on reality television or that have YouTube channels that are wildly successful, and they are either so talented or so funny or so quirky or so interesting. And I just thought, that's not us. We're not interesting people. We just, we live busy, wonderful lives, but they're very ordinary. I don't feel like we're extraordinary. And so we brainstormed with the kids and thought, okay, if we were to start a channel, what would it be about? What do we love? What are we passionate about? And we decided, we think having family fun is really important. We love playing games. That's one of our favorite family pastimes. And just finding fun activities to do together. And so we thought, I think we are passionate enough about this, and we have enough ideas about this. We could actually produce content that might be helpful and inspiring to other people in helping them realize that it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't even take a lot of planning a lot of times to be able to make meaningful memories. And our little tagline is, a little family fun goes a long way. And that is so true when it comes to family relationships. Making time to spend together a priority can be huge when you're trying to develop relationships with your spouse or with your children or people in your family that you love. So that's how it was born. And we decided we needed to get a couple videos out before the end of the year. So we had a couple of weeks, and we just decided, we don't know what we're doing, but
Which is kind of incredible, because I think of Christmas time, and it's insane at Christmas time. So to add something like a new project in, that's some dedication right there.
Well, we thought, if we're going to do this, we just got to do this. And this is going to be a part of our lives now. And yes, this is a crazy time to add something else, but here we go.
But if we can do it now, we can do it always.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of how it all started.
So fun. I just love that. I'm really excited that we can chat today, because we talked a little bit before, but I've really been needing to be fueled up and excited about some new fresh things to do with our family, since we've been in COVID for so long, and Texas is regressing, so it feels like we're just gonna be here forever. And you're Washington, where it's been like horrible for you guys. So I did so many fun things, and it was so great, and then I'm just kind of burned completely out. So
you lose steam after a while. You're like, I have more ideas.
I need a new fire. So this is perfect timing for us to be able to talk together. I'm really excited to just brainstorm so many cool ideas that you have, and just pick your brain about all these different things. So it's 4th of July week.
Yes.
So I would love it if we could just start there with 4th of July fun. Let's just talk about all these fun 4th of July things, and then we can go into summertime fun and just on and on and on and on.
Sounds good. Yes, 4th of July. I feel like our 4th of July looks a lot like yours. This year is weird, though, because we can't do a lot of the things that we're used to doing.
All ours are canceled, so it's really weird. Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad, isn't it?
It's such a bummer. I know, it is a bummer, but we're still going to make it fun. So because you're going to supply me with things that I can do.
So I think, one of the most important things, especially when it comes to special days, holidays, or birthdays, or whatever it might be, especially right now, all the days seem to meld into each other, and there's not a whole lot to differentiate today from yesterday, from tomorrow. And, without schedules and our activities and our plans, it becomes really challenging. So this year, I am really focusing on trying to make the day different so that it feels like a holiday to these kids. And how are we going to do that? I think, you have decorating and making your house or your backyard or wherever you're celebrating feel festive. Food obviously is a huge
Yes.
yes.
And we can help. Go to helpingofhappiness.com.
Oh yes,
Lots of
yes,
things for that.
yes. We'll go to your website for all of those ideas. But I think, food traditions are so fun. I grew up with a lot of food traditions in my family, and I came into marriage with ideas about we have to do this on this day and that on that day. And my husband was like, what? Because he didn't really grow up with as many of those food traditions that are special. But that can help when you have special foods that are different than your normal, that can make the day feel special for the kids. One thing we absolutely love to do on the 4th of July is make homemade root beer. That is
that's a fun one.
That is one of our most favorite traditions. And you just get the big cooler, the 5-gallon cooler, and you can just do it in there and serve it from there. And it can get slushy. And it is one of my kids' favorite things that we do on the 4th of July.
We've never made homemade root beer. I've had other people's, but we've never made it. How do you even make it? Like,
it's the easiest thing ever. You just order, or I actually have had a really hard time finding it at the store. So we've had to order on Amazon a little case with the little, it's the root beer concentrate. And it just has a little recipe on there. It's just water and sugar. And then you need dry ice, which you can get at your local
just at the grocery store.
And you just have to put it all together, and then you stir it for a really long time. And if you let it sit too long, the dry ice can fuse itself to the side. So you don't want to have that.
Okay, good to know.
So you've got to keep it moving. So somebody has to be on the job but it's fun because it's like a witch's brew,
Oh, yeah. We've done a dry ice witch's brew, and the kids didn't know what dry ice was going to do. And so we threw it in at the last minute, and it was like, they were all super excited. So they would really love to do homemade root beer. That would be really fun.
And it gets to the carbonated stage, but if you keep going, it gets to the slushy stage, and it actually turns into slush, and you have to serve it with a ladle.
Oh my goodness.
It won't come out the spout, but it is so much fun. So you have to try that.
Yes. Okay. I'm putting that on my list. We've got to try it.
Also patriotic music. You can go out there and find playlists and just have the music pumping out there. And I think music just adds to whatever.
Oh, that's going to make it so great. And Christmas music is such a big part of Christmas time. Yes. I forget about patriotic music except for during the fireworks. But what a great thing to be doing, especially on the 4th of July or even a few days leading up to it. I just think those are all songs I want my kids to know and learn.
Right?
They're so meaningful.
Yes. And another thing we always incorporate on the 4th of July, which I'm sure so many people do, is just water activities outside.
Yes.
But a couple of years ago, we decided we need something new and novel and fun. We have the little pool, we have a slip and slide, we have the things that we usually have in the summer. But we found a couple of new water toys on Amazon that, are attached to your hose, and they squirt crazy ways and spin, or there's just all kinds of fun things out there. So I think if you can add in something novel and new, then it feels different and special for the kids too.
No, I love that. Especially when our pools are closed, it's really nice to be able to do something water related outside, so we can at least pretend like we're doing something summery.
Yeah, or get everybody in the family gets a squirt gun and have a squirt gun war.
That's a great idea.
Water balloons, have some actual games, like real games that have to do with water balloons, or, there's all kinds of things you can do that are actually organized and intentional activities that you can do with your kids that feel special and fun. and festive.
I've actually been saving, the water balloons where they're all like attached to the sticks and you just fill it up and then they
Those are the best.
automatically, yes, I've been reserving some of those. My kids it came in like a 4-pack or something. So they used part of them for some kind of game that they were playing like a few weeks ago. And then I've been hiding the rest of them so we could use them for something. And this would be perfect. 4th of July would be the perfect place to use that and make it special because I don't want to buy those packs all the time. They're
Right.
it gets expensive when we have 7 kids and water balloons. So that's a great idea.
Yes, and that's the best invention ever.
I know, it is. It's so genius.
Yeah, so yeah, those are some of the ideas. And of course, adding in fireworks, if those are allowed where you live, that's always a fun way to make it feel patriotic and festive. One other thing I wanted to mention too is that sometimes when you have an event like this, it's so fun to be able to involve your kids in the planning and carrying out of this event. And so, for instance, for 4th of July, I could say, this child is in charge of the menu, working with mom on the menu and either planning it or making it or both. This child is in charge of coming up with a really fun family water activity that we're going to do at 3:00, and this child is in charge of making a patriotic playlist. And that child is in charge of decorating and making decorations and making our backyard feel fun and festive, And I think if the kids can help be involved in making choices, making plans, they're more invested in it. It makes it more fun for them. So, and I don't have to do all the work.
Yeah, I was going to say, then it takes away the mom show. I mean, you're still assisting and guiding and all of that, but it really takes it out of this mom perfection thing where we're trying to have it be this Pinterest style day and we're just dying because it's so much work. So I love that. I love that idea. We've covered some 4th of July. What about other just summertime things?
Yes. So one of the things that we love to do, especially during the summertime, because here summer is gorgeous in Western Washington, it is the best time to get outside. It's beautiful. It's warm. It's sunny. And I know that's not the case everywhere in the world.
Not so much for us, kind of the worst. But there are still fun things. Maybe if we go out in the middle of the night or like 4 a.m, it will be comfortable to go outside now.
I understand coming from the desert in Arizona. I totally get that. Like the best time to go to the park is about 2:00 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's still 95 degrees.
Yes, seriously. And so humid still. But so hiking is a big thing for you.
Yes, hiking. We absolutely love getting outside and hiking. So discovering new places to go outside, enjoying nature together. Even if you can find some wet area to go.
Yeah.
Something that'll actually be fun to do, even if it's super hot outside, that has shade, water, even if things are closed down. Nature is open,
Yeah, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Yes.
Okay, what about summer games? I know you guys do a lot of fun games too.
Yes, summer games. Gosh, there are so many fun things to do, and we're excited to do some of these things this summer. We love trying new games. You'll get recommendations from family or friends, and it's always fun if you've had somebody recommend it to you that you trust their opinions, that you can invest in some new games that you can be confident that your family will love. And sometimes we'll go out online and we'll look at reviews, and there are some games that just stand out above the others with their reviews. They have really strong reviews. Tons and tons of people rave about this game. We love discovering new games that way. So that's always a fun thing to do, to bring a new game. If you have an old game, you can always add a new rule or a new twist to that game and make it kind of a new thing or a fun thing. For instance, we have a game called The Great Dalmoody, which is kind of like a game called Scum, which a lot of people are more familiar with, that you can play with rook cards or face cards or whatever. But basically, the order in which you get rid of your cards is, first place, second place, third place, and you you change your physical seat around the table each round based on how quickly you get rid of your cards. So getting rid of your cards is a good thing and puts you in the first position or up at the top. And then if you are the last one to get rid of your cards, you're down at the bottom. And so to make this more fun, we added funny hats. So that each place around the table had a hat. And of course, the king has something regal or a crown or a tiara or whatever we could find. And then all the way around the table to the peon, which is the last place, you just have to find the most humiliating thing you can for them to have to wear
a dunce cap or something.
But even taking a simple game like Uno, for instance, you can make a rule that every time someone plays a red card, they have to cluck like a chicken, or every time someone plays the number 9, you have to do something, or every time somebody is skipped, the skip person has to skip around the room.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. We play so much Uno. This would be really nice to be able to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah,
we get kind of burned out.
And the fun thing is you can make the rules different every time, And this is a fun thing for little kids because they love coming up with wacky.
Oh yeah,
wacky
my 5-year-old would be all over it. She's the one that loves the games the most of anyone in the family too. So this would be like her favorite thing in the world, is to be able to do something like that.
So fun. So I like that because you don't have to buy anything. You can just use what you already like as a family.
Yeah.
And just make it new and different that way. We love like jokes and riddles and logic puzzles and that kind of a thing. And it's something fun to do, especially if you're spending a lot of time like on a road trip in a car together, pulling out a logic puzzle where you really have to think about it and try to solve the puzzle. It's one of the favorite things that my husband would do when he would take scouts on a camp out, have all these teenage boys in the back of the car. And he would pull out these logic puzzles and it would engage their brains the entire trip. They're trying to figure it out. So things like that. You can buy books that actually have these puzzles already written. You don't have to
that's so good to know, because that's half the question. Where do we find all of these things?
Yes.
Okay.
There's so many resources out there. And there's all kinds of parlor games, which are games where you just gather in a group and you don't really need anything to be able to play. Like, do you love your neighbor? Or things like that. It's really fun to pull out games like that at times when you're together, whether it's a 4th of July gathering or just a night where the family's together and you're looking for something to do. Pulling out a brand new game like that is super fun. One thing that we have done recently is we have a Spotify premium account that we got for Brandon's birthday, and we all decided to get it too. So
I love it when you can spread that birthday love around to more than one person.
Well, the whole family enjoys his birthday present. And on a recent trip, we decided that we need a karaoke list that the whole family can enjoy together, because, Justin and I have songs that we love, but our kids don't necessarily know or appreciate. And vice versa, And so we went through all of these playlists and all of these songs on this trip we were on. And in about 2 hours, we created a karaoke playlist that everybody in the family likes. Everybody had to vote on every song, and it had to get at least 3 really strong votes to be able to make the list. And so it was just fun to listen to all kinds of songs and create a karaoke playlist. We love dance parties. Mm-hmm. And there's something fun that we discovered where we don't have the dance, challenge, the video game, but they have all of these songs out on YouTube. And so you can actually YouTube, the dance video for whatever song you like, and it'll pull it up and you can follow along and dance along with it. And it's hilarious. It's so much fun.
Need to do that. I think that would be so much fun.
And if you can let the kids choose music that they like, and dance to their music, then it just becomes a really fun family activity. So that's another one that we love to do. Let's see. Oh, movies. It's
Yeah.
especially hard. I know.
Yes, we need lots of new
Especially.
movie ideas because I feel like that's been we've gone through so many of our favorites at this point because we have
Yes.
movie night almost every night now that we're home so much that yes, we need your movie list of all these wonderful things.
Well, one thing that we've found really challenging is when you have kids that are old and young, to find a movie that everybody in the family wants to watch is really hard. And one way that we've tried to solve that problem is where we rotate who gets to choose.
Yeah.
So, you know, when the little kids want to watch a cartoon, that's the family movie. That was what was picked, and that's where we're all going to be happy about it, you know. And if the older kids want to watch something that is more geared towards older kids and
Yeah.
not so much for the little ones, they can either wait and watch that on their own when, you know, bedtime has passed, or they have to choose something that's appropriate for the family. And one of my favorite things is that I get a chance and my husband gets a chance to choose movies too. And this is where we sneak in the old ones.
I love it. Love it.
Because, you know, it's so easy to get caught up in what's current. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
our kids are being bombarded constantly with so much media, and there's so much content. Even
Yeah. There's
even
just
if you're just staying current, like what's new today,
oh
there's
yeah, you
so
can't
much.
ever keep up. Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there, you know, but there's so much good stuff that's you know, from the old days, let's say.
Yes.
And we love the opportunity to introduce our kids to some of the oldies. And so we've actually found some that our kids love, thankfully.
Okay, I need this list of all these ones they love because that is the trickiest part is trying some new ones that we're all going to enjoy that are
Yeah.
old. Some old new ones, some new
Yeah.
old ones. I don't know how we're supposed to put that, but
Yeah. So
okay, so lay it
one of
on
the
me. Tell me
ones,
the ones.
yes, one of the ones that our kids love is called Court Jester, and it's got Danny Kaye in it.
We love.
So same guys in White Christmas. That's another great
Yes,
one.
we love White Christmas so
Oh,
much.
those classic Christmas movies are the best. You've got your
So good.
It's a Wonderful Life, you know,
Yes, that's my
it's
favorite.
so good. But another one that our kids love is Support Your Local Sheriff.
Which
And that
I've
one
never
has,
seen.
yeah,
I've got to put that in. That sounds so. I've heard of it a million times, but I've never seen it.
yeah, that one's got James Garner, and it's so good. And it has a companion movie, Support Your Local Gunfighter, but they're very funny. And it's kind of an old Western, but funny. And they're just delightful to watch. Another one is The Great Race, and that one is also very funny. I find that if we find movies that have some humor in it,
Yeah, yeah,
that helps the kids connect with it more. If it's not too slow and it's got this makes it
yes,
interesting, you know.
yeah.
The characters are really
That's
fun to
we
watch.
love Singing in the Rain. My kids think that one is so much fun because it is funny. They have such funny little sections in that.
I know. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. We were coming home recently from a trip, and we got stuck in. We were like an hour away from our house, and there was a huge accident on the freeway, and we were at a dead stop for an hour and a half.
It's just the worst. So close to home.
It's
It's the
so
worst.
disheartening when you've been on a 13-hour road trip and you just can't move.
I just want to get home to my bed. You're so
Oh.
tired.
But that day, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers saved us,
I
saved our
love that
sanity.
one.
So,
Love that one. Even my
yeah,
older kids love that. My older boys even. That
yeah,
one's so funny.
yeah.
Such
So,
good.
you know, we just like mixing it up. You know, the kids, of course, like the current stuff, but we love having the opportunity to pull in older ones and introducing them. And it just, I find it makes them more well-rounded. We can just enjoy things from, you know, all kinds of different places and times. So
Love it.
yeah, that's a good
Okay,
one.
we've got movies. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Oh, a couple more ideas. One of the things that we have really enjoyed, especially during this quarantine time, is we got a book from Amazon that has science experiments for kids. And my two youngest boys absolutely love creating things and trying to blow things up and, you know, They're always inventing. So we thought
Yes.
this would be a good way to try to help channel that energy a little bit. So
It's funny because as we took our, in between our little times that we were talking, I just ran out a few minutes ago to my kids, and they were making soap flakes in the microwave, where they microwave the soap and it fluffs it all up. I'm like, I guess you're all entertaining yourselves while I'm working back in my office today. But it was just so funny that they're doing these science experiments, and we're talking about that today. So give me the name of that science book, because we're always looking for new science ideas.
Yes, this one's called Awesome Science Experiments for Kids. And it's got a blue cover, and it's just awesome. It has more than 100 experiments in the book.
Oh, good. We need lots of them.
and a lot of them, you already have the stuff at your house. You don't have to go buy crazy things. So it was fun. During this quarantine time, we decided to give ourselves the challenge of creating 30 videos in 30 days. And
I can't even imagine. So much work.
It was, but it kind of helped that month pass by when we had something to look forward to every day.
Yeah.
Because we knew that we needed to be having family fun every day so that we could create this content, And this science book arrived just in time. We included, we did a few of these science experiments as videos for those days. And it was just so much fun because my boys could do it on their own. They could read the directions, easy to follow.
Those are the best kind. Just turn it over and let them play.
Yes. I didn't have to supervise them at all, and they just had a ball. So yeah, science experiments or other kinds of books where it makes learning fun, helps their brains not go to mush over the summer, and helps them engage in learning in a really fun way. Highly recommend that.
Okay, I am definitely grabbing that. I have a birthday of one of my kids coming up. Maybe we can make that be part of the birthday for the whole family, like you did in your Spotify premium account.
Yes, everybody will enjoy it for sure. And one other idea that I had is sometimes we will have kind of a choice activity where somebody in our family is in charge of choosing the family fun activity for that day. And
I love this. And you rotate it around, right?
Yes. And so, it may not be your favorite family or your favorite activity personally, but you are participating in something that somebody in your family really enjoys. And that is a different kind of fun. It really is fun to learn about what they love and why they love it, and appreciate their talent in that area, and maybe learn something new yourself. And it forms a cool family unity when you do stuff like that.
That is really cool. And I bet it makes that person, or I guess that child, feel super important that you get to do their favorite thing, right?
Absolutely. And it can be quite hilarious too. Do something.
So what are some of the things that they've picked?
Oh man. So one of my favorites was Brandon, our oldest. He tried to teach everyone in our family how to ride the ripstick, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like a skateboard. You put your feet on it, but it swivels back and forth. And so you have to balance while you're swiveling your feet back and forth to make it go. So it's not just standing and balancing. It is standing while swiveling.
We're really working our core on this activity, it sounds
yes. And, some of us were better than others. Oh my goodness. It was just fun I really gained an appreciation of how hard it is.
Yeah.
He makes it look so easy. And I realized it is not. If you don't have the knack for it, and if you haven't spent the time to practice and learn. So I have a new appreciation for being able to ride the ripstick. And, there was a day where my girls, they did a spa day, and they totally did their brothers and their dad, all the boys.
Oh, that's so cute.
So, they did the face masks, and they did the massage, and they did the foot soak and all of it. And my little boy was eating his cucumbers on his eyes. That is not for eating.
I don't think my boys have ever seen like what a pedicure entails. I think they would be so just intrigued or shocked or mystified by
Yeah.
us soaking our feet and then scrubbing them. I mean, I don't, maybe even my girls don't even know really. I mean, one of them maybe has gone with me. I guess I have failed as a mother. I haven't taken my girls to the spa. We've done mani-pedis, but that would be such a fun thing to do. I just crack up watching them all with their buckets and their cucumbers over their eyes. That would be so
Yes. And to be able to recreate that at home is fun, And if my little 2-year-old were to choose our family activity, we'd probably be coloring, have a coloring
Oh,
day, we're
yes.
all
Yes.
coloring and coloring books or whatever. So it's nice to rotate it around because you get a much bigger variety of activities
Oh, yeah.
and everybody gets a chance to pick. So that's fun,
Yeah, that is really fun.
Yeah.
So how often do you do these? Is it just kind of random or do you
It's
have a
just
certain?
Yeah, it's just kind of random, but sometimes we just look at our week and we're like, man, we don't have anything fun to look
Yeah.
forward to.
Looks like our week is clear again.
So let's make some fun. Let's see. On Friday, all right, everybody, we're gonna have a family fun night on Friday. What are we gonna do? Brandon, it's your turn. You pick.
Oh, fun. This is perfect because starting off with, because I mean, we have kind of a longer weekend with 4th of July. My husband gets Friday off, thankfully. So we can do something really fun Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So fun.
Assign it to the kids. Make them in charge of
Yes. Oh,
something.
totally going to assign it to them. It's a good
But
idea.
then, what I love about that is that when you assign stuff out, and even when I do things, it never turns out Pinterest perfect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, never.
But,
Yeah. But
but I
never
love
does
it.
it anyway.
It
Yeah.
never does anyway.
But it
But
definitely takes the pressure off me, so
it
I don't have to
does.
expect it to look like that.
It takes the pressure off, and the kids, I find that they just enjoy having some say in what the family does together, being able to bring up what they enjoy too. So
That's so good. They don't just feel bossed around. I think that's
right,
great.
right.
So good. Okay, what about road tripping? Do you have any tips
Oh,
for road trips?
road trips are actually one of our favorite things to do as a family.
It's my
And
favorite.
well, road trips, they are, you know, they can be challenging
Oh
if
yeah. Oh, they're the hardest too. Not only are they the best, but they're the worst.
they're the hardest sometimes too. But there's some things that you can do, to make road trips super fun. And we did one of my favorite vacations a couple of years ago. We did this huge road trip, and we were able to visit all kinds of the state and national parks. And those places are designated for a reason. They are amazingly beautiful. Nature is amazing. So we had all of these fun places to go, and we put in, places like Disneyland when we were in California, and the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and
Oh yes, love
beach,
those.
and it's fun to plan a road trip where you can visit all of these fun places and do these fun things. But it's helpful too when you're on a road trip to have a plan when you're in the car, because otherwise it can kind of become mayhem sometimes. But sometimes we will involve our kids in the planning of the road trip as far as what's going to happen in the car. So somebody will be put in charge of our snacks, and they get the job of, going to the store with me, and they get to pick out the treats and the snacks and what they're
Oh,
excited
my
about
kids love
eating.
that.
And we like having a schedule when we're on a road trip so that it's not, are we there yet? Can we watch a
Yes.
movie again? If we have a schedule and we know that we're going to watch one movie in the morning,
Mhm.
from 10 to 12, then we're going to stop for lunch. And then our next movie is going to be from 2 to 4. And so you don't have the constant begging of, when can we watch the next movie? And
Oh yeah.
I find that too much electronics, electronics has its place, and it can be
For
very
sure.
helpful to pass the time. But you can also go overboard on that, and that makes people feel very selfish. And, it's just really hard to get along when you're in that frame of mind.
Oh yeah. Well,
So
and then they're fighting on every little thing. And then they're not entertained for as long. If you're traveling like us for a couple of days,
Yep.
I'm always pushing that movie for as long as I can. So they just
Yeah.
have time to do their activities and, like you've said before, looking out the windows at what's
Yeah.
happening. But
Yes.
if we're
Yes.
just stuck,
Oh,
they don't even know where they are.
right. And that reminds me, sometimes, like on this big road trip, we stopped at Walmart in the middle of nowhere, Idaho. I was like, okay, these kids are just looking down at their book or whatever they're doing.
Yes.
They're not appreciating this wonderful road trip where we can enjoy the beauty of the country around us. So we went and got an atlas, and I had my boys look at the atlas. We'd found the map of the state where we were, and we said, okay, our goal today is to make it to point A, whatever that is, Yellowstone National Park or wherever we were headed. And I'd say, okay, here we are. That's where we're going. How are we going to get there? And they would look and have to figure out on the map, and they'd take a highlighter and highlight the highways and the roads. And we
So good. Such a life skill.
and in this age of electronics and Google Maps, it's a lost skill to be able to look at that and figure it out for yourself and not have the phone or the computer telling you turn right in 400 feet, you know. Like what did we do before cell phones? Well, we looked at the map a lot.
My kids even think MapQuest sounds ancient. You know,
Yes.
when you would type it in and print it out, I'm like, no, when I was a kid, we didn't even have MapQuest. You know,
I know.
Like, what? How did you get anywhere? You know,
it's like an alternate universe to these kids. Like this can't be reality. But it was cool too, because as we were driving down the road, you know, see mountains or rivers or landmarks of some sort, and we'd say, okay, what is the name of that mountain over there? And it was just a great way to help the kids connect with our road trip, which, yes, we were going to destinations, but we were also on the road trip to be together in the car and to actually look out the window. And, you know, I've never been to Montana before. Wow, Montana's beautiful, you know? Like, let's appreciate where we are and what different parts of the country actually look like. So.
Yes, I love that. We took one trip. It was crazy. Here to Idaho Falls, so Dallas, Texas, to Idaho Falls, to Montana, to South Dakota, and then to Missouri, because we had a wedding in Montana and we had plans before we knew about that to go to Missouri to see my sister-in-law, and the way they all backed up, that was just kind of the way we had to do it. So we covered a lot of different ground during that trip. I mean, you think of the plain states and the mountains and the deserts, and I just loved going through the country and seeing all that. And it makes me a little crazy if my kids don't even know what it looks like out the window.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, and I will mention one thing that we kind of came up with before this particular trip, because it was going to be massive. It was like a 3-week thing. And we were going to be spending so many hours together in the car. We wanted it to be a really good memory. And so we sat down with the kids and we said, okay, we think when we're having contention and we're at each other's throats, we think that it's originating probably from one of two places. And it's helpful to identify these things to help us all recognize it. But are we being selfish? Or are we making are we making little things into big things? And that pretty much sums up all of the problems that we have on road trips with our kids, you know? And so we talked about it ahead of time. We're like, what kind of road trip do we want to have, guys? What do we want the car to feel like? You know, and the kids were like, well, we want to have fun. We want it to be happy. We don't want to fight. We don't want to have contention and all this, because, you know, this is the hard part about road trips, you know, for everyone, especially families with little kids.
Oh, yeah.
Or big kids, you know.
Or those in-between ones that just love to get under your skin.
Oh, yes.
Those are sometimes the hardest. Those preteens are like,
I know. And it's hard, but, you know, even those kids want to have fun. They want to have a positive experience. And so we thought, let's talk to the kids about this, help everybody get on the same page. So we said, okay, this is what we're looking for. And so then every time something would start escalating in the car, we would stop everything and be like, all right, guys, what's going on here? let's figure out, is it selfish or is it making small things into big things? And every single time, both people could identify one or both of those things that they were doing. And it's helped us all to kind of tamper down and to be able to recognize what was happening. And that really helped us keep the peace in the car with the kids on that trip.
I think I need to keep the peace in my house. I think that's a great one for every day. I love that. But I do love that you start that before a trip, because then at least it's not like we always need to be like this. It gives you a kind of a time frame where we're going to really practice this.
Yeah. Well, it makes it intentional, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's all get on the same page. Let's just talk about the contention right now, because we've seen this happen in our family. This has happened. It happened. How can we avoid this happening this time? Let's talk about it. So that was helpful too.
That is so good. The contention, I needed to hear that, because I feel like when we have been together so much, that has been really hard, because everybody is a little bit getting under their skin more than normal, because we're not away from each other like we normally are.
Right.
So it has been hard. I mean, I've definitely seen some of my kids come closer from being around each other more, and then other of my kids just like, I can't handle you for one more minute. It's just been so much time. So I think that this is a great time to go back and talk about this. So was there anything else that you had before we move on to our helpful and happy questions that we didn't cover?
Absolutely. Yes. So one thing that I think was really changed our perspective. Justin and I were going on a walk. This was a few years back, and it hit me all of a sudden. I said, do you realize we only have 5 summers left with Brandon at home? And we kind of felt like we were still in the young family phase at that point.
I think especially when you have little ones still.
Yeah.
You sometimes forget that your older ones are going to be gone soon. Because that same kind of thing happened to us a few years back. I mean, and I just like, wait a minute, we have so many things that we want to fit in, and our time is just running out.
Oh, and I kind of panicked a little bit, because we have pretty much always lived far away from our families. And so that means vacation time and summertime becomes visiting grandma and grandpa, or, aunts and uncles and cousins, and which is super important to us. Family is super important. We want our kids to have strong relationships with their relatives. But we realized that we have just been putting off the trips that we've wanted to, and the experiences that we've wanted to have with our kids, because we thought, well, we're still a young family. We've got lots of time. And that's when I panicked, because I realized we don't have very much time left.
Yeah.
And we have to be more intentional about putting these trips that we've always dreamed about doing with our kids. Now is the time.
Because you can't fit in 5 trips in one summer, nor do you want to. Yeah.
No. And so we thought, okay, we need to make a list. And so we sat down and we kind of prioritized and thought, okay, what are the experiences that we want to have as a family before Brandon moves away? Because as wonderful as that phase of life is, and I know you're embarking on that next chapter. I
know, we're getting there. It's crazy.
And your family is never quite the same after that, which is wonderful, and I'm so excited about all of that. But at the same time, this time with your nuclear family all at home together, it doesn't last forever. And we just really wanted to make the most of that. So we decided, all right, we've got to go to Disneyland, because we'd never been before.
Oh my goodness. It's the best. We used to live in California. And so, I mean, we lived in the middle, so we didn't live in Southern to go all the time, but we would go maybe once a year or so, because it was within about 5 hours, and we just loved it so much. But then we moved to Texas, and we have not been going that much, because it's such a big trip now. And so we did just what you did. We went spring break of my daughter's senior year, and it was
good.
So great to be able to do that at least one last time while everybody was at home under the roof. And I'm just feeling bad for anybody that is trying to get these things in like right now. They're all stuck at home in COVID.
I know, everything is closed. It's so hard. But we decided we've never been on a cruise. as an adult, Justin hadn't either. My kids hadn't. So we decided, all right, we're going to fit in one cruise between now and when Brandon leaves. And if we're going to do it, we're going big. So we went on a Disney cruise.
Oh, so fun.
Yes. And unfortunately, now my cruising bar has been set very high.
It is. We loved our Disney cruise.
We're super excited that we got to do that. And, we fit in this huge road trip that I told you about. We really wanted to go visit a bunch of the national parks. And so we loved being able to do that one summer. Last year, we went to Hawaii, and some people think we're crazy, but we invited both sets of parents, so my parents and Justin's parents, and we thought, we don't get to see them all that often.
Yeah.
And to be able to have kind of the time with them, with our family, and just kind of dedicated time with them while they're still healthy enough to travel and they're able to. And it was the best. We made so many good memories with the grandparents going to Hawaii with them. So
that is so neat. I think it's neat that you could include both, because I think a lot of people don't think of that.
Right.
Because it's really hard to go to Hawaii with one set and then go to Hawaii again with the other set, or, we can just kind of knock all that out on one shot. I bet the kids loved having all of that attention too from their grandparents while they were on a trip like that.
Luckily, our parents get along great. They're great friends. So it worked out for our family to be able to do that. But yeah, it changed our perspective when we realized that time is short and we have to be very intentional about how we use our time. Because we've got a limited amount of it. So what's the most important way for us to do that? And that is also including the little family fun stuff. We've been much more intentional about the little stuff, trying to create memories that way too. So just being intentional about the whole thing, I think is great.
I love that. I love that so much. Okay, well, should we go to the helpful and happy questions really quick? Okay, so this ties our blog, Helping of Happiness, in with our podcast, because on there not only houses our podcast archives, but we cover our food, family, our family recipes, and our travel tips, and our homemaking hacks. So, first question: what is your favorite food or meal?
Oh man, this is a tough one.
It's hard if you're like me, and I love all food.
I do too. I love trying new foods. I love new recipes. I love cooking and baking, and it's a tough one. But this time of year, I love salads in the summer.
Yes.
Delicious salads. And one of my favorite ones is it's a chicken barbecue salad. It's so good.
Okay, so tell me everything that's in this. I want to hear all the food. Okay. I am so tongue-tied. Tell me everything that's in the salad.
All right, so you get chicken tenderloins and you marinate them, and you make a marinade out of olive oil and some soy sauce with garlic and some salt and pepper, and it just creates a really nice flavor. And then you grill up your chicken, and then right before you stick it on the salad, you toss it in some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, which is delicious. And then the salad itself consists of lots of lettuce on the bottom, and then you've got pepper jack cheese, you've got your black beans and your corn, and you've got your cilantro and your tomatoes and your avocado, lime juice, and jicama.
Yes. Love jicama. So good.
And then you just top the whole thing off with homemade ranch dressing, and it is just fresh and delicious, and it's one of my favorite summertime.
Well, and it's hearty. I mean, that could be a whole meal. It doesn't you don't even need other things.
Right. And if you have fresh squeezed lemonade on the side, you're in heaven. It's the best.
Like, I'm thinking for 4th of July, we do this. We throw some corn on the cob on there and have some dessert, and we're set.
And your homemade root beer.
And the homemade root beer, which I definitely want to make. I hope I can get some root beer concentrate here from Amazon before the 4th of July. That would be so awesome. Order it. Prime needs to be my friend this week. So, that's so cool. Okay, so what about your best trip? Is it one of these you've already mentioned, or is it another one?
Oh, I think, one of my favorites has got to be the road trip where we went to the national parks. It was just awesome. But in general, when I think about my dream trips or my dream vacations, it always has something to do with the outdoors, whether it's going to the beach. You know, we went on a trip recently where we went out to the Washington coast. We had to escape our quarantine house.
Yes.
And we got a little rental house out on the coast, and it was the best week ever. It was just
Sounds so dreamy.
I mean,
Ugh.
it's just nice to be not at home sometimes
Yeah.
and be in a different location, but still be able to spend lots of time with your family. And it was just so fun. So whether it's on a mountain, on a hike, whether it's in a national park somewhere, or, you know, out on the coast or anything like that, I absolutely love going outdoors. So any way we can incorporate that, I'm a fan of.
I love that. And my kids love outdoors too. So it's always a win-win when they can
Yeah.
be exploring. Okay, so what about this last question? Do you have a homemaking hack for us?
Oh, yes. I was thinking about it, and I definitely need to learn some homemaking hacks.
I'm sure you have a lot more than you think.
Oh, probably. But I did think of one. My younger boys, they love to collect everything, and everything is precious to them, you know, whether it's stuff from school, things they made, or things that I consider garbage, but they have some grand plans of something they're going to invent with this bottle cap or empty Kleenex
Toilet
box.
paper roll. Oh yes,
Yes,
yes. We have
all the
stashes
things.
of that all over. Ugh.
Yes. I swear, one of these days, I'm just going to give my boys, actually, we did this. We gave my son like an Amazon pack of duct tape for his birthday.
Okay, that's actually exactly what I need to hear because I forgot. That's one thing I wanted to give one of my sons for his birthday, and it's coming up in a couple weeks.
It's like giving them the gift in the box, and they use the box more
Oh,
than the
totally.
gift.
They use
Yeah.
so much duct tape. Yes.
So anyway, I mean, I would go in their room and it was just full of, they would just stash things everywhere on the windowsill and on their dresser and in their drawers and under their bed. And I mean, it was just so much. And when you try to get rid of things, everything is important because in their
Ugh.
mind, it has a purpose. And so it was impossible. I mean, we even went to Marie Kondo and tried that. I'm like, all right, you can only keep the things that spark joy, boys, joy. But everything sparks joy to them. I mean, there's so much joy in their room. And, you know, when you talk about them parting with these precious things, it would just bring sadness and tears. And it was just tough. So we decided to get drastic one day. And we decided, all right, that's it. We are bagging up everything that is not bedding or clothing in your room. I mean, we took it all out, everything. We took out the stuffed animals. We took out the toys. We took out all the garbage, all the writing utensils, because that's the other thing. They have art supplies.
I don't even know where to go with my art supplies. And I feel like since COVID happened, there's been so many art projects going on that
Yes.
our art space is just exploding with precious pictures and there's just so much.
So much. I mean, too much stuff. And that's the thing is we would try
manage.
they couldn't manage the amount of stuff they had in their bedroom. It was too much for them. I mean, I couldn't.
It's too much for me.
Yeah, it's too much for me.
I think I need to do this in my bedroom.
Yes, actually, we did that to our closets and it was fabulous. But so we bagged up everything. And the great thing about that is you quickly get rid of everything and get your room to feeling clean again. We dusted it, we vacuumed it, we made the beds nicely. And so all they had was their beds and their clothes and their drawers. The closets were empty.
And it just felt so good so fast.
Yeah. And that was the great thing is it's kind of a turning point in their minds. They're like, you know, I love it when my room feels like this. I want to be here when it feels like this. And then they're motivated to keep it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was great because we let them keep about 10 of their favorite toys. And we had a home for each thing, you know, on the shelf or wherever it belonged. And we said, okay, here's the deal. This is the game now. you get to keep your room clean every day. And for each day that you're successful at putting away, and they had a time every day where they knew we were going to come inspect. And for every day they were successful, they could go out to their black bags and get 3 more things. And every day that they weren't successful, that's okay. We would just clean up their room and try again the next day. And it was great because they went and got back the things that mattered the very most, their most favorite toys or whatever it was. And everything else stayed in black bags. And we kind of found that equilibrium point where they had enough stuff that they could manage and keep clean themselves, but not too much. And it was just wonderful because it was kind of a weeks-long process to do this. They got in some really good habits of cleaning up their room by a certain time every day. And that way, when they went to bed at night, it was a clean space that felt good.
I kind of love that it took you a week too, because I feel like so often when I do this, we get it clean, but then we don't ever like readdress it again. It's just becomes a mess really fast again. And they never really learn how to care for it.
Right. And so it does teach good habits. And it actually took several weeks for us to finally find that equilibrium point.
Right.
At that point, they didn't really miss what was still in the black bags. Yeah. They had the things that were most important to them. And so then we could get rid of things without all of the emotional attachment to things that they didn't really need or want. And so that was really helpful for us to help us get their bedroom under control. And I've found over time that things tend to creep in.
Accumulate again.
So it's something that we do on a fairly regular basis where we just need a clean start. And it's not a punishment. It's actually kind of fun for them to stuff everything in bags really fast. We put on music, we make it a game, we see how quickly we can do it. And to have that successful feeling on day one, it just is so nice. And then we're like, oh yeah, I do love it when my room feels this way. And that provides motivation to keep it clean.
Yes. Okay, I guess we're cleaning out closets this week and bedrooms. Now I know what we're really doing for the 4th of July.
Oh no.
Just kidding. No, but I love that so much. I think that is such a skill that they just aren't going to learn in any other way. So I think that that's really amazing. And if they can learn it when they're young, they don't have to become an adult that is cluttered and having a hard time caring for a house. They can start on that smaller scale. I think that's such a great way to do that empowers them to feel good about their space too, because that is half the struggle. Or I end up doing it myself, which doesn't do any good because they have no respect for what has been done for them, right?
They're not learning the how to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun, Jennifer. I just love you, and I really wish we lived close because I was learning so much from you today. I really appreciate you and all that you're sharing and all that you're doing. Let's tell everybody one more time where we can find you.
Okay.
I want everyone to be able to follow you.
Right. So we have our YouTube channel. It's called A Little Family Fun. And A Little Family Fun on Instagram, A Little Family Fun on Facebook, and we have a website that's alittlefamilyfun.com. So pretty easy to find.
So much fun. So much fun. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today.
I feel so much better about figuring out my 4th of July now that I have talked to Jennifer. She's amazing. If you're looking for other fun family games podcasts that we've done, we had a really fun one called Fun Family Games on episode number 86 with Megan Hess. And she gives a lot of ideas of different games that are really fun to play with your family, recommendations, things like that. And then we had another really fun one, episode number 107 with Brittany Beatty. It's called Simple Family Fun Every Day. And then if you're in the midst of COVID still and you're stuck at home, we had a great podcast with Wendy Wilson, episode number 100, Making the Best of Social Distancing. And she gives a lot of ideas of movies that they're watching, things they're doing on YouTube, food that we're eating, all that different kind of stuff. So I hope that you will tune into those and give us a rate, review, and subscribe. That's so important to us because it helps us move up the rankings on Apple Podcasts. and makes it so that more people can find us. So that would be super, super helpful. Thank you so much for listening. Share with a friend if you loved it.